You're watching FYI, and I'm your host, Doreen Barnes. In the studio with me is Constable Mark Hefffernan of the Brockville Police Services. He is the Community Safety Officer, and we're going to be talking about 911. Mark, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So 911 is used for emergencies, correct?
That's right. That's the only time that you should be using it, when it's an emergency.
Unfortunately, sometimes people have been calling 911, which automatically means that regardless if people stay on the line or they hang up, it has to be checked out. Am I correct in that assumption?
That's right. Every time somebody calls 911, that 2 officers have to be dispatched to the residents to make sure that everything is in fact okay.
This is becoming a problem with your dispatchers, that people are calling 911 when it's not an emergency?
Yeah, we're getting lots of calls where they're just calling 911 and then they're having to dispatch the 2 officers, which is tying up resources, and they could be for issues of either somebody's parked outside their house for too long, or they're asking about what are the roads like today during a winter storm, and we've had the crazy calls also where they're asking for some instructions on how to cook a turkey, asking how the Braves did at the hockey game.
Oh my heavens.
That aren't police related, let alone even emergency related at all.
I would imagine one of them is, oh, what time is it? Remember they used to call the operator
Yes.
years ago to find out the time.
Yes.
I mean, who do you call? You call the police.
And that's what everybody does, unfortunately, and ties up our resources.
Yes, and for someone, especially if there is an emergency and people cannot get through. Now, so people, what should they do if they accidentally call 911?
Well, if they accidentally call 911, number one, they have to stay on the phone. We'll get a lot of people who will hang up because they were embarrassed or nervous, maybe their kids did. Stay on the phone and talk to the operator and to the dispatcher and let them know what happened, and remain on the line, provide the information that they have, and as I said, an officer will be coming to their house just to confirm everything's okay, and that's a policy throughout the province that we have to do.
It's a standard, you do it.
It's a standard, we have to do it.
You have to,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, so now what about people who have the cell phone and they have the auto, well, either at home or as a cell phone, and there's the pocket dialing or the auto dialing.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
No, definitely take a speed dial of 911 off your phone. It's short enough for a reason. And if you're going to speed dial anything into your phone, speed dial the non-emergency number, because that's one that most people forget, and that's the reason why they call 911. So make sure you take it off, make sure you lock your cell phone so that you don't make those pocket dials, and to have that non-emergency number available for those other non-emergency calls.
Yes. So things like you were mentioning beforehand, car parking out, that's not a
Yes.
911.
No.
That's not, that's nothing is happening. Just use the other number. Use the number that is going to be on our monitor in a few minutes, which is not the 911, and then use that to call to ask about, I've seen this abandoned car, what do I do?
Exactly, and a lot of the non-emergency would be if you had a crime take place, whether it was somebody breaking into your car, or maybe some mischief done to your property, or a parking complaint or a traffic complaint, call the non-emergency number, and it's still a police issue, just not an emergency number, and we'll deal with it accordingly.
Clarify emergency, non-emergency.
An emergency would be a crime in progress. If there's something injury related, life-threatening, so if there's a fire, there's an accident, somebody got hit by a car, 911, you have no time to think about what the number is and you need to get through right away. That's an emergency. Non-emergency, incidents that don't require immediate police action but still require, so meaning the calls or the incidents that have happened already, or that where it's not serious and imminent and nobody needs to be dealt with right at that immediate second. But really the emergency ones, if somebody's hurt, call 911. If there's a bad accident or not, call 911. And the other ones, please take the time, especially with cell phones, to either Google the number or program it into your phone.
So Scott, if I come home after I've finished here in the studio and I notice, oh my, somebody's robbed my home, would that be a 911 or would that be the other number?
Well, if you came home and you noticed your door was disrupted, that would be 911 because you're not sure if somebody's in there or not. So you stop, go to your neighbors, go to somewhere safe first, keeping yourself safe. 911 right away. If you wake up in the morning and you notice that your car's been ruffled through, which happens a lot of the time, that would be the non-emergency number. If you wake up in the middle of the night, somebody's going through your car, 911 right away.
Yes, yes. So I just wanted to make sure
Yes.
that there's a little gray area there,
There
and I
is.
wanted to make sure that people understood the difference between emergency, non-emergency.
Exactly.
And 911 is there for a purpose, and it's to keep the public safe, and this is why we have it. Is there any other comments that you would like to make at this time regarding the use of 911?
Just in regards to making sure that you teach your children the appropriate times to call and not to call, in regards to not playing with the phone and not to test it out on your phone to make sure that it's working. Because we do have some people saying they're just testing out their phone, dialing 911 to make sure that it works, and definitely not doing that. But educate your children when the appropriate time is, because the parents are the best teachers of their children.
You have people that are calling, I'm just testing my phone, honestly.
Yep, well, we have that unfortunately quite regularly, also testing the phone or testing when they've been programming 911 into their phone, or testing on their cell phones the emergency button that you can hit to make sure that it actually goes in. Like I said, it still ties up in the dispatch and the officers.
It does indeed, and this has to be addressed.
Yes.
It's happening. Let's address it now, and make sure that we help protect our citizens here in Brockville.
For sure.
Thank you, Mark, for coming in, talking about 911 and non-emergency. And so, people, please do take that 911 out of your phone, and make sure that you have the number for the police station right beside your phone.
Yes.
And that way you will not be tying up a dispatcher who needs to address other emergencies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching FYI.